take it that we're not insane.
Exactly.
Ditto.
But there is a reason behind it. Before we get started, the reason behind it is as many of you know, myself and AJ lost our son 6.5 years ago. And dresses and everything. And I had a request would have like a little fancy bit on their thing. So I've been making bow ties, like lots of them. And we thought that, you know,
For you.
but what we're going to do is, well, I couldn't get this to tie around the back because it was too slippery. So it's under my chin. So I look like a right dork. But what we, as you know, so we thought, let's get started and let's talk Royal Rumble.
Used to be.
Fly. He's looking
Yeah.
fly, I said. Here.
Like, so you can check it out. Oh, I didn't get to smile.
Okay, ready? Let's go back in time, shall we, people?
How far back?
Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, they just put 30 guys together in the ring. I believe that was probably the whole show. I actually never saw it in its entirety. The winner of the first ever Royal Rumble was Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he won that one. But I know I need to watch it.
So then what year was that?
That was 88, I believe.
Okay, so
89. One was that's when it became a pay-per-view for the first time. And
Right.
And then the following 2 years, which was 90 and 91, Hulk Hogan, who was the champion also at the time when he won the first Royal Rumble, he won on back-to-back years, 91 and 90. And then 92, the Royal Rumble was held for the first time with the world title being on the line. Actually, 91. Hogan was the champion in 91 at the time. I don't think he was. Was he?
Sure.
I'm trying to think. No, yes, he was, because that brought on the Ultimate Challenge in 91, which was WrestleMania 6, title for title, Warrior versus Hogan. In 92, the belt was vacated because of
You said something between Hulk Hogan and Undertaker or something?
yeah,
like
it
that?
was like the Gravest Challenge Survivor Series. Undertaker won the title for the first time thanks to Ric Flair. And then they had a pay-per-view, which was held only one time. It was called Tuesday in Texas. It was a rematch for the title. And being what happened at Survivor Series, Jack Tunney, the president, came out. He took out Jack Tunney. Hogan actually won the title back, but due to the controversy too, which is when Ric Flair made its appearance for the first time. We just watched that one today. That was 94 we're watching.
94 was watching.
93 was when they finally added the stipulation of whoever Rumble would get a title shot at WrestleMania. Yokozuna won 93, which got him his title shot with Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9. 94, me and AJ watched today.
Mm-hmm.
And who was the lead time? Two competitors, Bret Hart and Lex Luger, went over the top rope at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
97, I believe 98, Austin won it again, I
Mhm.
think. Now, AJ probably going to take over from here because I'm a little behind.
Well, we mentioned 98 was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay, I'm saying
When he
99.
finally won the title for the first time ever.
Watching that one, yeah.
2000, it was almost very close to what the other situation was, but they had to do a replay and stuff like that, and looking like that The Rock had won it, but he did. They just declared him the winner, but it was close between him and Big Show.
I kind of remember that one a little bit. Kind of.
Let's see, 2001, I believe it was Austin.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
I have to brush up on Royal Rumbles. I haven't watched them all. I
Yeah,
haven't
Austin
seen
did
them.
won that one when Austin ended up turning on The Rock and he won it. Let's see, 2002, I believe it was Triple H. Yeah, Triple H won that
Isn't
one.
that when he came back right after his quad surgery?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I know. Oh, yeah.
Thank
Yep.
you.
I actually saw that one. I don't know why I don't remember that one.
2003 was Brock Lesnar. he lost the title at Survivor Series, ended up being in the Royal Rumble, then won it back from when he had one of his greatest matches against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. I think that was 19.
Oh yeah. I remember that match. That was a good one. Actually.
2004, WWE won't say his name, but Chris Benoit won it. 2005 was a very good one because they did do the same thing, kind of what they did with that 94 one. But Vince McMahon came out and was like, nope, it was going to be a winner. So,
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's
Yeah,
when Vince
between
McMahon
John-
tore his quads at the same time.
yeah, between John Cena and Batista ended up winning it.
Vince McMahon came out to the ring, climbed in the ring, and both his quads went out at the same exact time.
I didn't even know
remember
that. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he blew both his quads out at the same exact
Pass me my
time.
baby.
That's why when he walked into the ring and he fell over, yeah, both his quads blew at the same angle.
That's funny.
Oddly enough, he healed up faster than Triple H.
It's Vince McMahon. I swear to God, he's just like some mythical creature.
Yep. So that was 05. 06 was Rey Mysterio, I believe.
Which I still
For
think
wrestling-
longer than 95 because how could Rey Mysterio come in at number 1 and hold the record for being in the Royal Rumble the longest?
I think he was number 2.
Yeah, he came in second. Shawn Michaels was number 1 in 95 and lasted the whole Royal Rumble and won. But yet somehow Rey Mysterio, who came
60.
in number longer than 95, because there is no way that you could beat the record of the man who came in first and you came in second. Like,
Right. 07, I know it was a Detroit one, but I'm just trying to think who. I think it was Undertaker, I believe.
I think you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Him and
because it
Shawn
was-
Michaels were the last two people.
Yeah, so it ended up being Undertaker and Batista for the world title. He
That
chose.
WrestleMania,
Yeah, he chose. So that's 07. 08 was John Cena.
That was our anniversary one. Our very first date. Like proper date.
It's our anniversary.
And I remember Buffalo Wild Wings went absolutely insane.
When he came back.
Yeah.
Because he was injured at the time.
Supposedly.
He probably took time off, wherever the case may be. Who knows?
Making a movie.
Stroking his nuts.
Let's see. 09. I think it was 09 was WrestleMania 25, and I believe it was Randy Orton that
I
won
think
it.
you're right
Yeah,
on that
Randy
one.
Orton won it.
By then, I was probably homeless, so I didn't get to watch WWE all that often. Actually, I didn't get to watch it at all, really.
Which they called the match with Orton and Triple H was the worst match
Yeah.
ever.
I remember
Good
that
build up
painfully.
for it, though.
Yeah, good build up, but
But then it was painful.
yeah, because it was like mainly Triple H dominating.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was like Triple H ego show. Let's be perfectly honest.
Right, and Randy Orton didn't get no,
He-
not even that much
No.
of a fight or whatever.
It was like they said to him, "You've got to let Triple H dominate." He's, and that's what happened. And it was one of those matches that even if they had Triple H win, they could have let Randy Orton at least try.
Right. It was cool though, because Randy Orton won it like a month later.
Yeah.
So let's see, 2010. That was WrestleMania 26. No, it wasn't Batista, because I know they had that match. I'm trying to think. Had some dude, I think it was, yeah, it was Edge. Edge won that one. Won that one 2010, 2011, I believe. Where's WrestleMania 20?
I can look it up.
No. It'll come to me because I'm trying to think. Because 26, I believe, that Edge won, and there was in Phoenix, I believe. Then 27. That was 2011. Dang it.
Go ahead and start looking them up. So I can-
Yeah, I came here in 2011 because Because I think it wasn't that much of a good one.
I don't remember it.
Because I swear the 2010 one was led to 26. Let's go look it up and see.
This year's winner of the Royal Rumble has already been announced. Jesus Christ, you just scared a fart out
Because
of
I
me.
remember going. So it was Alberto Del Rio that won it.
Yeah, wasn't the year I sent you to WrestleMania?
Yeah, that was a year. Because I remember, like, before I turned 30, I
Yeah.
wanted to go to WrestleMania 2011, 2012. Wouldn't have been in that. I'm trying to think what championship match was going on. Well,
Yeah.
Then after that, it was John Cena.
yeah, but he didn't win. Yeah, because he won because that's when the title was on the line.
Mhm.
And it was
I think, was that 17? Did I? Let's see.
Rocky Nakamura.
Oh, Shinsuke Nakamura. That was last year.
And then
This
for the
year.
girls, it was Asaka or Asuka.
Asuka.
Oscar. This year, you mean?
That was this year. Huh?
Left.
Have to say one.
Oh God. Yeah, I was gonna say. I
Yeah.
never know.
The one for
When they do like Royal Rumbles, they'll, as they've been doing it for the last couple of years, they'll name the place where they're gonna hold it at. For that.
What was your favorite one?
year,
God, that's a tough one.
the venue, the city it was in.
Yep, and it was a big surprise that he was there.
And it has to be said, all those people who then went on saying, I hate Cena, they lost their damn minds as well when Cena came out. So,
Not this guy right here.
no one's talking about you.
Yeah, but
You at Buffalo Wild Wings?
I'm just.
No,
saying
you
myself.
weren't there. So it wasn't
I'm
you.
doing
I was.
I guess on the match. And first one will be. I can't even think.
Well, we got the second one out of them.
Yeah.
You got to think about it for the first one because of all the stuff that was going on.
Okay, best match.
Yep,
That,
I got it. 05.
okay, best match that you've seen at a Royal Rumble pay per view. Doesn't have to be the Royal Rumble.
Just the match that was in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
6.
I'm a Johnson.
Yeah, they fall in 96.
Some reason.
The match.
I can't
Because I
really-
think it ended in a no contest.
I can't really per se say what my favorite match was in Royal Rumble because really the matches weren't because as we all know, the Royal Rumble is designed around the Royal Rumble. So any other match that actually took place was like insignificant really. Because everybody was waiting for the Royal Rumble to start anyway.
You said the early 90s just to see who they're going to face or whatever.
Okay, and eliminated because he comes up with some of the most awesome ways to stay in the Royal Rumble.
You know what we.
And
Oh, yeah. Like the whole when he was on the chair and jump back in. I mean, he's just done all sorts. The other one was where what's his face was
John Morrison, was it?
no, the shortest one in the ring.
Hornswoggle?
Not height wise,
Oh.
the shortest time in the ring.
Oh, I was about to come up with that.
Only thing I can think of is Santino.
Yes.
Oh!
Okay, what happened with that one?
I forgot. I think it was Kane that eliminated him.
Yeah.
He only got in and just like pop.
Straight
and came
out.
right back out.
That
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like what happened to the Bushwhackers. They would walk in and just get thrown right the fuck back out.
That was basically what happened.
Yeah.
I think one of the Bushwhackers. I think the Bushwhackers like held like besides probably Santino. I think the Bushwhackers were in the ring all but 2 seconds. They would walk in, get in the ring, get thrown right back out again, and walk right back to the back.
That
Like,
was
wouldn't
pretty
even-
much it.
Like with no point.
But he was
coming out.
yelling.
Walk to get thrown over and keep walking like that,
Yeah.
right back to the back. Like
Oh man. They had a lot of them. You have, because everybody was shocked when Edge was coming back. That was one of them for that WrestleMania. For that Royal Rumble. Then you have, the one where Hornswoggle was in there for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. He was like teaming up with everybody. Like, I know he mostly was teaming up with John Cena then.
Yeah.
I forgot who eliminated him.
I don't know about you guys, but I love it when they bring back some of the legends.
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
well.
That's what I was just about to say. That's one of
A
them.
while, and then their music starts up, and it's just like, oh my
I
god.
wonder who's gonna be this year. Cause they always bring back like some old school people that ain't nobody thinking about.
Right, but
Well,
you
this
sit there, and you're like, okay, we've got like 10 more spots left.
Ah.
Well, WWE Championship match is Braun Strowman.
That one I am looking forward to.
So they haven't decided anything yet on the rest of the match card.
Nope, just those two and the
Oh well, yeah, they got time. They got time. That's what they're going.
And if they're having 2 Royal Rumble matches again, see, and this is the thing that I actually like about the gap between the last pay-per-view of 1 year going into Royal Rumble
Mhm.
is that you do have a long period of time between them. And I don't know about you guys, but it brings back to what we've said once before about how you then get that build up of the storyline and, things going on and everything.
Because what TLC was last Sunday, so they got a whole
8 weeks. It's literally 8 weeks.
They got a long gap to come up with storyline because if anything, they're gonna probably build up enough. They're probably gonna build up the women's side.
Right.
They ain't done that yet. They're probably gonna build up the Intercontinental title again, the tag team titles, and they got a whole.
Yeah, they probably ain't gonna do the tag team.
They got a whole, like Hazel has said, they got.
When you do get that build up, because you do start to look forward to it and the suspense about it builds. But I just hope they're not gonna, with how they're saying, it's great seeing them back in the ring. And I think that was old school wrestlers come in and
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, you didn't see it.
No.
His number was called up. He was running, and he slipped. I think because it was on Friday. So
Yeah, it
they
was
did
on a
all
Friday.
mistake, and plus that was a moment.
it was hit under the ring.
I remember one moment.
I know the King was one of them.
Jerry Lawler, yeah, I was just about to say, like, Jerry Lawler did that one year. I think that was 96 he did that, and I can remember it when Jerry Lawler did it that first time in 96.
How?
He was at the comic King, then went up to the ropes, popped by Bret Hart 2 times, then he got eliminated.
And then he went back to the commentary table and forgot he was even in the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And then after a while, him and Vince talking, and Jerry Lawler's like, if I was in there, I'd be eliminated.
Oh yeah, JR was on the announced team at that time too. They were just cracking up a little bit jokes with him.
Okay, who would you like to see come back for this Royal Rumble?
So the legends now, or you don't even hear about him anymore. That's
But
hard.
then again, you got some people like
Because
that.
I know they can still go. Ricky Steamboat. I know he can still go. He's already proven that.
I think that was what 20.
That was an awesome match, man. He was still wrestling like he was 30 years old and was giving it his all.
I think that was 20.
Piper and Steamboat. They went against Jericho. Piper and Slaughter got eliminated. Steamboat was still in the ring for like an additional 30 minutes with Jericho. And that was so great that at the next pay-per-view they gave him a singles match together.
Mm-hmm.
Steamboat put on a performance that well at the age of 60 to where they invited him back for a
10 moments from Royal Rumble.
all right.
We could go again.
I'm guessing one of them is gonna be one Ric Flair and one.
Oh, this year's Royal Rumble with the women for the first
I thought
time.
it was actually, but some of them made women's wrestling before we went over to the diva side.
Mhm.
But the sad thing is that to me, it would have been more legendary if Chyna had still been alive and had been invited to participate. Because let's be honest, she was the first female to be a part of the Royal Rumble.
Uh-huh.
And to me, like, she is the one who made the Royal Rumble available for women.
You had her, you had Beth Phoenix, then you had Karma.
Yeah.
She could be another person that could be surprised for.
They did her wrong, by the way. I know she went out on maternity leave, but then just forgetting she existed was
Well,
just
I
wrong.
found top 20.
Okay, we'll go through them then.
Okay, number 20 was entitled 2015 Philadelphia Rejects Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, everybody was pissed.
It was bad.
They said it got so bad, it was a riot outside afterwards.
Yep.
Because people didn't want Roman Reigns to win it. Because it came out between.
Okay, number 19, Shawn Michaels versus for the win 2007.
2006.
That was the one that Undertaker won.
Oh yeah.
This is let's see, 18. Beth Phoenix becomes second female to 2010.
Yeah.
She's one person I miss seeing wrestle. Because she was she was feminine, yet she was a beast in that ring.
From the looks of this past Royal Rumble, she looked it pretty good, but now she's just doing some announcements from time to time for WWE.
She's doing her own thing.
Oh, going back to the old school, 1989, the Mega Powers erupt.
Oh yeah, with Hulk Hogan and Savage.
That's 89. It was number 17. 16. I remember this one. Slaughter wins the WWE title from Ultimate Warrior due to the outside interference of Randy Savage. What built that up is that Warrior became champion and Savage won the title shot, and he kept trying to lure Ultimate Warrior into giving him the title shot, but Warrior kept rejecting him. And then Sergeant Slaughter made a deal with him, like if he become the champion, he would give Macho Man a shot. So Macho Man helped Slaughter at Royal Rumble of 91, so he can get a title shot from Sergeant Slaughter. Okay, number 16. Oh, Kane burns his brother when Shawn Michaels and Undertaker had that casket match.
Yeah.
That's where Shawn Michaels actually messed his back up at. And at the very end, Kane put him in the casket, locked it, and set it ablaze.
Yep, set it on fire. I remember that. Especially with Jim Ross. The casket's on fire. The casket's on fire.
Jim Ross knows how to make a situation work.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not even gonna mention it because.
Oh yeah, what we was talking about with Santino getting eliminated. So that was number 14.
Play it, and let me say it at the same time.
That's it, baby. This is designed to load. But you ain't gonna play it. Okay, obviously it's not. Oh.
Let me see. What?
Damn.
Well, kind of, anyone. And you went up to him and he says to him again, okay. I was the only one.
Reigns record rumble. Apparently, it's like he eliminated.
Had the most eliminations.
That's when he won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. 06.
11. Vince McMahon wins the Royal Rumble in 99.
He might just say he just walked his way in and won it.
I remember this one that led up to WrestleMania 6. The Ultimate Showdown. Pretty much Warrior and Hogan, the two biggest baby faces of the company at the time, were in the Royal Rumble in the ring together. And somewhere along the way, Warrior got eliminated, but like they put it on Hogan that he eliminated Warrior, but it was like actually 3 people. It was like Hogan, Rick Rude, and Barbarian. They all pushed him over. Number 9, I Quit. Immortalized.
Oh, the I Quit match with Mankind and The Rock.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that one was vicious. Mick Foley got his head all tore the heck on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was brutal.
AJ Styles debut in 2016.
They called it a surprise debut.
We all knew he was coming. It was just a case of we're sitting there like, okay.
When?
That was one of the worst kept secrets in WWE that he was coming back.
Yeah, because WWE leaked it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 7. Oh, I forgot about this one. 2001, Drew Carey enters the
Oh,
Rumble.
yeah.
He got in. Kane came by. He just jumped right. He just
eliminated himself.
Let me see. I don't see that.
Yeah, he eliminated himself.
I did not. It could be faster.
Because that storm's coming, so.
Yeah, he wasn't really.
Bear with us.
And there goes Kane.
Just a message. Just have to wait for Darth Vader to make his appearance. Seems time for friendship with Jimmy and James, isn't it? You're giving him money.
Yeah.
We apologize on the YouTube land for that little moment of screw up. So
At 96, not 94. Who's the winner? Bret Hart and Lex Luger when he went out at the same time. Number of casket match.
right.
And number 4, Shawn Michaels comes in number 1, wins because only 1 foot. He got thrown over the top rope. Only 1 foot touched the floor, and he pulled himself back inside the ring. Let's see. Number 3, With Tears in My Eyes. That's when Ric Flair won the world title in the Royal Rumble of '92. It got that. It was that the last 3 people were Ric Flair, Sid, and Hogan. Sid eliminated Hogan, and then Ric Flair ran up from behind. And while he was pushing Sid over or trying to push him over, Hogan grabbed Sid's arm and pulled him over the top rope. Let's see. Number 2, Maven eliminates Undertaker.
The Tough Enough winner eliminated the Undertaker
In 2002.
and he ended up to amount to nothing.
Exactly.
I think he only won like the hardcore title, and that was it.
Okay, number one.
And number one, the shocking return.
Oh, Johnson. I don't think they would put
I
that
would put that as number
one.
one.
I don't put that
And
either.
the one that I think they've missed out is the one that I said when China was the first woman to go into the Royal Rumble. I think that to me would have been deserving of being
There's
in
another
there.
one.
Right.
It's top 15.
Go and see what they say, see if there's anything different.
Yeah, that's why I went to it. Oh, that was the one with this one. Looking at. Oh, I remember this one. 93. Giant Gonzalez attacks the Undertaker. Well, for those of you that don't know who Giant is from El Salvador, he was known as LED. He took on a persona called Giant Gonzalez. Undertaker was in the ring, pretty much dominating the Royal Rumble, dominates the Undertaker. And pretty much Undertaker was eliminated soon after that. But yes, that was actually a really good, memorable moment. In 96.
Oh, yeah.
That's when Jerry Lawler entered the ring because Jake the Snake 2011.
Oh, yeah. When him,
Yeah.
Booker T, and
Look at the
I
look on
think-
Kofi Kingston's face.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I remember that. He was like one of the first competitors in the ring. Him and Terry Funk. He got eliminated as Mankind. Probably like 5-6 people later, he comes in as Dude Love. No, he came in first as Cactus Jack. Then he came out as Mankind. Then he came. Let's see. What did they have her? Okay. In a brilliant move, Mick Foley was seen 3 different times in Royal Rumble match as he entered as Cactus Jack at number 1. He was eliminated and came back as Mankind at number 16. He got eliminated again and popped the crowd when Dude Love was the 28th entry.
You gotta give him credit for trying.
And we were just talking about this. Jerry the King Lawler hides out of the ring in 96. And he still didn't win either.
He sure didn't.
10. Taz makes WWE debut at Mass. Oh yeah, he would against didn't go against Kurt Angle that night. When Taz first came out. He sold out Madison Square Garden, stood chanting Kurt Angle was scheduled to face a mystery opponent, and the powers of the smart New York City crowd was already aware that the human suplex machine was no longer in ECW and is about to make his WWE debut.
Yeah, they misused him.
Okay, we saw the Drew Carey one. That was,
Although he was short, but still, they still misused him.
this man wins Royal Rumble. Number 7. Oh, Rock and Mankind I Quit match. Bret Hart and Lex Luger. Hacksaw Jim Duggan with the first ever Royal Rumble, which was not a pay-per-view.
What's the other ones?
Oh, besides that, with Jim Duggan's win, it was 20 rather than 30.
Oh,
Was it the following year they went up to 30?
Yeah. Though the Rumble match was only 20 wrestlers rather than 30, Duggan still goes down as allows him to break the top 5 of Royal Rumble moments.
Fair enough.
Stone Cold cheats to win his first ever. Yeah, I remember that. Bret Hart
'Cause he-
eliminated. He got right back in the
That
ring. But the
Bret-
referee didn't see it.
I think he eliminated, was it Undertaker and Bret Hart?
Yeah, because Bret Hart eliminated him, and since the rest didn't see it because they were on the other side of the ring tending to somebody else, he got right back in the ring, right after being eliminated.
Yeah.
John Cena makes surprise return. That's at number 3 on this list. Number 2, Shawn Michaels back-to-back Royal Rumble wins, 95 and 96. And number 1 is Ric Flair wins the title at Royal Rumble 92.
See, that just tells me that when you don't mention China anywhere in any of them, they
got the worst Royal Rumble.
give me a minute and we'll do that one. That just tells me in a way how the McMahons and everything try to eliminate her from
Yeah.
the history books, so to speak. And you got to give her credit where credit was due. She was an amazing wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be honest, some of her matches going up against the men. I wouldn't want to be a man having to face her. She was vicious. But go on then, the 10 worst moments.
No, top 30 actually.
Okay.
Oh wow.
30.
I was gonna say that would be something. She was like in the WWE Championship match and won it.
Right.
AJ actually mentioned this one for those of you watching. Titus fails to be the worst.
Oh, was that number 30 or number
Yeah, that's
one?
number 30. That's the first one on the
Okay.
list.
Wait, they might have a video on that one, so y'all might know.
I don't think they do. They? No, they don't have images. There's no video of it. It's just
Oh,
images.
okay. Just images.
Yeah.
But that was
We have to watch that tomorrow.
29. Brock Lesnar versus the Wyatts goes nowhere.
the Wyatts.
Royal Rumble 2016.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The jump
Jumble Express
one.
2017.
Oh, okay. Because it was a long ramp.
No said. 93. Randy Savage doesn't get Battle Royal. Jim Yokozuna were the last two people, and Savage was trying to bring this to eliminate Yokozuna, and it just didn't happen.
That had to be in 90.
That was 93.
Okay.
91. Hogan goes a bit overboard on the God mode.
God.
Let's see. Hogan was able to overcome Rick Rude and Mr. Perfect by taking advantage of the mistakes and getting the second win when he was just down to him and Mr. Perfect. Mind you, it's the worst moment, so you ain't gonna hear nothing like "ooh ah."
Right.
The latter two weren't all too a big deal considering they had only been gone for several months. But since the WCW invasion, it seems like 3 years. It's understandable. The Godfather showed up at the Royal Rumble like his usual instance. He was accompanied by his ladies, only he then ran away to bring out more ladies. Okay, yeah. Roman Reigns takes a walk.
Take a walk.
Let's see what they talk about. 2016 Royal Rumble match where Roman had to defend the WWE Championship at number 1. That was too early and everybody. Okay.
Yeah, and I think he was eliminated like right before Triple H. Oh yeah, because it came down to Triple H and
23. Where we at? Randy Savage eliminates himself, or does he? 3 years later, Randy Savage threw Jake the Snake out of the ring and was so furious that he kept attacking him. It was so in the didn't know what Michael Cole, Karma, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and the Road Dogg.
Yeah, so you've got to have the right amount of guests come in. You know, if you've got, say, 4 or 5, that to me works. You know what I mean? Because you still want to see good wrestling. But when you've got more coming in, then it just turns into like a sitcom.
Oh yeah, because Jerry Lawler was having that feud with Mike.
Let's see what
Royal Rumble 2011, 2012. Well, we'll move on.
Go ahead and read it, and you probably would know something.
Well, it's a lot to read.
I'll read it. Okay. When WWE did the initial roster split and gave us 2 top titles, it gave the Royal Rumble some extra wiggle room. Someone could win their way to WrestleMania without having to be able to carry the main event on name alone. That meant that just about anyone could win. If the company was really high on, say, Rey Mysterio, they could have had him win and face the world title belt anyway. Then they got lazy about it. Alberto Del Rio won 2011 Rumble.
Because he was
Got the opening match of the show where he lost and was humiliated. After 2 months of losing cleanly and being humiliated, what was even the point? A year later, Sheamus won the Rumble and went on to win the Heavyweight Championship in a joke of a match that also took place at the start of the card. Mm-hmm. Maybe now that we're back to having 2 main championships, they can do a better job with it.
Be Daniel Bryan was like 5-6
like
seconds.
7 seconds.
Yeah.
Number 20 is Randy Savage no shows the match, Royal Rumble 1991.
No show. Oh, he was supposed to be in there. He didn't show up.
Yeah.
I think that was. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the buzzer went off and like the camera went towards the curtain and nobody came out.
The idea was Warrior scared him out of the building. He wouldn't even. Imagine if Warrior had to push himself through a wave of referees and officials and go into hot water because he started tossing them around like ragdolls to CM Punk. Born Finley in 08.
Yeah.
Then, oops.
Because he was using Hornswoggle like nobody's business.
Chris Jericho losing the Royal Rumble in 2012. Says the one thing almost every Rumble had going for is the fact that the winners made stance. Then 2012 happened. They spent a lot of time building Jericho's return via some creepy and effective videos of a little boy giving an unnerving prophecy of the end of the world. It turned out to be hype for Jericho, who showed up and did nothing. He'd smile, wear a sparkling light-up jacket, play to the crowd without doing a goddamn thing.
He was like silent for like weeks.
Far from random entrance. Royal Rumble 2002. Says most Rumbles have the same pattern. The first half is dedicated to the jobbers and miscarders with a couple of big names. Then as it gets later into match, more and more big names come out. Usually number 30 is a wrestler who kayfabe has a chance to win. But it really won't, such as Big Show or Adam Bomb. When you notice this, it gets really annoying. Hell, it was annoying when they programmed guys like Cena and Triple H to constantly come out as 29 and 30 in some of the SmackDown video games. 2002 was the most blatant use of random draws that in no way came off as random. After a mid-card parade, Undertaker came out at 8, followed immediately by Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. Even Lawler was pointing holes in the concept. The ring filled up again until Austin arrived at 19 and the match finally picked up, felt like it was going somewhere, though it was past the halfway point. Triple H came in at 22 and soon after it became a cavalcade of ad. Kurt Angle, Big Show Kane, Rob Van Dam, and Booker T. They're saying at least you need to try and spread it out.
Oh, okay. I get what they're saying with that.
They're saying there was too many top carders coming out back to back to back to back to back, instead of having it like say number 5 and then number 10 and pronounce this
The Massacre.
Thank you. Eliminates himself because of his ego.
Mexican wrestler.
Then.
Viscera for 2006.
6. World's largest love machine is musical service. Was already even a giant, white as a mohawk.
Oh yeah,
He would pin Miss Mahazen of Daniel Puder.
Oh yeah, the
Royal Rumble
Tough
2005.
Enough winner. When it came to him and the Miz.
Alex Riley accidentally eliminated. Okay, it says, early in his time in the ring, Riley was shoved to the apron by John Cena and Kofi Kingston. This was your usual time killer spot to keep people busy. Riley would hold on to the ropes, get back into the ring, and they keep it until they had something to do. Unfortunately, Riley slipped and fell out of the ring. Nobody noticed this at all except for Kofi and Cena, who seemed really distressed and nervous because Riley was instrumental in how Cena was planned to be eliminated later on. They improvised something for later with Riley returning to distract Cena so Miz could toss him out. Bit of Cena as a wrench. Pretty funny.
Oh yeah, led up to the championship match.
Yeah.
With
Then it
Cena
says,
and
who
Miz.
cares about the stupid announce team? Royal Rumble 2010.
We're on number 11, by the way.
Thank you. Sorry. It says nothing can hurt a show like bad commentary. Several years ago, we had the worst during the 2010-2011 Rumbles. Trio of Jerry Lawler, Matt Striker, and Michael Cole. And not just any Michael Cole, but the infamously awful heel Michael Cole. Unlike Bobby Heenan.
He was awful.
Unlike Bobby Heenan and Jesse Ventura, who could be bad guys while putting over the product, Cole took his role by being obnoxious about bearing every single thing and having a hissy fit when anyone argued.
Yep, he was a Miz dick rider. Just put it that way.
Striker gets made fun of for his commentary, and rightfully so, but during these 2 Rumbles, he was somehow the less evil. Unlike the other 2, he seemed to be into the matches and tried to make it sound interesting. Lawler reached a point where he was all but asleep and Cole would just scream, who cares, to shut him down. But for real, Lawler spent years doing a gag where he would mention a wrestler as his favourite to win, then be flaky as possible and switching his choice around. Yet here, Striker would ask him who his favourite to win, and Lawler would act like someone's bugging him on a break. The year of empty rings. Royal Rumble 99.
Oh, who can forget about that?
It says after eliminating Golga, Golga.
Golga.
At number 3, Steve Austin chased Vince McMahon around the arena. With neither eliminated, this meant the ring was completely empty and the crowd had to wait until the next two guys showed up for there to be any action. This was fine the first time around because we got to watch Austin smack McMahon until the corporation showed up. The ring filled up again until Mabel showed up and cleared it of everyone but a hurt Road Dogg. Then the Ministry of Darkness popped in to abduct him. Kind of sucks it to be taken out without anyone in the match being made to look good in any way. But whatever, Road Dogg waited out for the next guy. Later on, Kane showed up and cleared the ring again. This time he was followed by men in white coats meant to bring him back to the asylum, which he was storyline at the time. He proceeded to manhandle his eliminated himself and ran off for no reason. It's like if Spider-Man beat up on a room full of criminals, webbed them up before thinking, oh crap, I got to get out of here, and cheesed it. Eventually, Ken Shamrock appeared and hung out with a returning Vince McMahon until Billy Gunn limped out from the back. The ring had been cleared out 3 times, and they were only 2/3 done with the match.
Oh, wow.
Number 9, behold CM Punk's buttocks.
Oh, Royal Rumble 2014.
Yeah. Pin received entry at number 1. Punk received a concussion, seemed out of it for the match, then got eliminated. The next night, Punk had to finally had enough, walked out of the company. Some saying the man with legitimate gripes. Regardless, yeah. Until appearing on Colt Cabana's podcast, when it's about how he banged up, blah, blah, blah. One of the company doctors kept whistling after leaving, doing third party, discovered he had a staph infection that literally could have killed him sometime afterwards. Punk got sued. And that's so hilarious and how ridiculous. WWE put up a video on their own official YouTube page. There's literally nothing but shots of 2014 Royal Rumble match of CM Punk's ass. No audio whatsoever, just camera angles that show off CM Punk's posterior, followed by pauses and slow zooms. The new Nexus versus the Core at number 8.
He expected to win it. Like, he, demanded it to win it, but I guess he got more upset because it was going to be Batista instead of him, and he just, after he was done, he just walked out.
Okay, the new Nexus versus the Core.
Number 8.
Royal Rumble 2011.
That was funny.
Mind you, like we said, people, these are the worst moments. So
1 minute intervals, Royal Rumble 95. Finalists.
Yep.
Sounds pretty impressive, but they made it a whole lot easier for them by cutting the match time down by making each entrance a minute apart. I can understand the reasoning with what them wanted to make it less strenuous for Michaels to win at number 1 and that the Rumble having one of the saddest of all rosters, but it was still disappointing.
Oh, wow.
I like this. The Rumble is something you look forward to. Finding out that match is going to be the last barely over half an hour is like getting pumped for the next Lord of the Rings movie, only to find out it's an hour and 15 minutes. Number 6 is the John Cena and Randy Orton stare down, 2011. So I wasn't sure whether to consider this one of the worst moments or one of the best. Cena and Orton lasted towards the end of 2011 Rumble at one point. They turned to find themselves the only ones standing. The 2 top names in WWE were ready to face each other for the sake of earning a WrestleMania shot. It's like Hogan versus Warrior, Brett versus Lex Luger, Austin versus Rock. Only it wasn't because these guys at least had people caring. Real WWE ran the feud into the ground for so long, nobody ever wanted to see these two mix it up again. Even with the added novelty of Orton being a good guy, the stare down got absolutely no reaction, nothing. Even the crickets didn't think it was worth talking about.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like when it's like the last 2 people and they walk around the ring and just look at each other for like a minute before they.
And if they've got 2 really good people and a really good rivalry built up, that walking around the ring staring at each other gets you so pumped. And
that's what they did with Warrior and Hogan, because like they were the 2 top draws and they're the 2 baby faces, and now like for the first time ever they get to throw it on with each other.
Okay, then this one, number 5 is the Proto Rumble, the house show of 87. The 88 Royal Rumble that aired on cable television was bland and not worth revisiting, but it has to be Flair versus Steamboat compared to the original Rumble. The first actual Rumble was at a house show in St. Louis on October 4th, 87. Now, I haven't seen that, this is the person speaking, not me. I haven't seen the match either, but anywho, only less than 2,000 people have. But from what information is available at the event, it was another disaster. It lasted 12 minutes and ended with One Man Gang and Junkyard Dog as the final two. Earlier that night, the two apparently awful singles matches, so the crowd wasn't especially pumped. The two went over the top rope at the same time, but the referee claimed One Man Gang was the winner. Be the number one contender at the next St. Louis house show. During intermission, about an hour or two before the Rumble, they hyped up that whole not happy because they've just spoiled the main event by saying who was going to be at the next house show in the match. So, okay, number 4, Hulk Hogan, the sorriest loser.
When Hogan helped eliminate Sid in
And it's
1992,
2.
though he was already eliminated.
It's 2, 89 and 92. Eliminated his Mega Powers partner accidentally on purpose, and after Elizabeth showed up to smooth things over, Big Boss Man arrived. Hogan stood up to him a little, despite Boss Man being the fresher of the two, and threw him out, turned their attention to the next man in, Brutus Beefcake. Despite the odds and his opponents being heels, Hogan lost fair and square, so of course he made sure Hogan was into the ring, grabbed Sid by the arm. Flair took advantage of the assist and eliminated Sid, winning himself the Royal Rumble and the WWF Championship. The crowd booed Hogan into oblivion because there's absolutely no reason why he should be given the title Flair to Ric like that. When they replayed it on television, they changed the audio so the fans booed Hogan being.
But he didn't even main event that. But you know what I mean? It wasn't the main event.
Yeah.
It was like one of the.
He was like the last title. It was like the last on the card. The main event actually was Flair and Macho Man.
Yeah.
That was good at that. Sorry, excuse my French, but that was a really good rivalry, good storyline build up. That was like one of the very few storylines in WWE where they added a life, because the whole storyline involved Ric Flair going on and on about how he was actually dating Elizabeth before her and Macho Man got together, and he made like all these Photoshop pictures of him and Elizabeth having dinner together, them being at poolside together. It was crazy.
Okay, number 31 versus Muhammad Hassan.
Oh, yeah.
It says on paper, this was 2000 a common enemy, and they want to teach him a lesson. Too bad it's part of the one more insulting wrestling gimmick, who was critical about the way Americans wrongfully treated other Muslims over events of 9/11. Was that I remember Jim Ross yelling at him, "America, love it or leave it," to a huge ovation, which makes me kind of die inside. The L5 Rumble played up to the rivalry between Raw and SmackDown. At one point, you had Edge, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, and Shelton Benjamin from Raw facing down Luther Reigns, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. Stopped what they would call Costello to 619 him and then dumped him out.
Yeah. To me, I thought he was a good character, and I don't think that I'm with him. And it just got so quick, so bad, so quick. He hadn't wrestled again.
Okay, number 2 is the end of Chris Nowinski walks out at 3 Things Get Uncomfortable. Nowinski came from the first season of Tough Enough and had more charisma than the winner. He stuck around and used his gimmick of being a Harvard graduate and mixed it with at least tattoo. He double teamed him. Over. Edge leapt an instant later and directly on Nowinski's head. It was nasty and gave him a bad concussion. In the end, he never truly recovered from the concussion and had to retire from wrestling. Damn.
Fool me twice.
Royal Rumble 2014 and 15.
And this is number 1, folks.
Okay. I originally wrote the list at 2014 to hype up the Rumble that year. I had no idea how dated it would be by the time 30 hit. Then with the year that followed, I could either figure out what was worse or just stick them together in number 1 spot. So WWE is a habit of pushing smaller guy at times and then quietly shows they can push bigger guys. Bret Hart was the champ in the 90s, but they quietly pushed him into never-ending feuds with Jerry Lawler and stuff so that they could try and push Lex Luger and Diesel. Same kind of thing happened with Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Chris Benoit, and so on. The company was in the middle of doing this with Daniel Bryan, but they made 2 major mistakes. First, they didn't give him real closure. He simply got screwed out the title without getting his big win despite being wildly popular. Every victory was immediately thwarted by Triple H, but just as importantly, they were doing their part in history. Daniel Bryan is being shoved into the background to push someone we like better was not only what they were actually doing, but it's what they were telling all the fans they were doing. Bryan was put in the match against Bray Wyatt on the undercard. In the weeks leading up to the show, it wasn't outright said one way or another if Bryan was going to be in the Rumble match. Fans hoped he would because, again, his story wasn't finished. All while that was going on, WWE made a deal about Batista's big return. While his appearance on Raw popped a good rating, there was nothing about his appearance that really endeared itself towards the fans. Most of the match was good, but when they got to the late 20s of the entrance, the crowd got antsy. After 29, the crowd chanted for Daniel and got into a big yes. When Rey Mysterio came out instead, it became a giant mess of boos. I remember that.
I remember that too.
Suddenly it was apparent that not only Bryan was not going to appear, but they were going to actually have Batista win and go to the main event, the WrestleMania. The remainder of the pay-per-view was the crowd hating on just about everything, while the commentators got passive-aggressive about how Bryan already wrestled a match and how nothing would change that Batista. Bryan and everything was getting really big, and then it was like, push him down. And then it built back up again, and then it was push him down. And that seemed to carry on. And I remember when we were watching that particular Royal Rumble, all of us were saying, I wonder when he's going to be in. And then we were thinking, okay, maybe in the teens. Because then I remember we were all sitting there going, 17 or 18 would be really good. That would be a really good one for him to come in at and all this. And then we hit the 20s and we're like, well, maybe he's going to come in around about 24, 25, 26. It didn't. And when you got to that point where I think we all knew he wasn't going to come in when he wasn't called, around about 25, 26.
Right.
But you just hoped, there was just that slither of hope that he would come out. And then when he didn't, you heard that crowd turn. WWE lost the crowd.
Yes, they did.
And as you both know, you as a wrestler and both of you as wrestling fans, when you lose the crowd, everything after that was just, people didn't care. They wanted that.
Although it was the last minute.
Right.
Him and Triple H, whoever wins, be in that match. Then Daniel Bryan won.
It says, hold on, guys. The fan outrage was continued in the weeks that followed, along with CM Punk's sudden departure, caused WWE to rewrite WrestleMania plans around Bryan. A couple of needed surgery and had to give up the title. During this time, they were gradually building up Roman Reigns. The eventual Reigns Royal Rumble would win, but would have gone over just fine. But he too ended up on the shelf injured. When Reigns came back, the company was very insistent that he was the coolest, most badass guy you should cheer, but bad it went wrong. To make up for lost time, Vince McMahon himself started writing Reigns promos, which would have been passable for Cena, but came off as downright stupid for Reigns. Very true. They were some of the worst.
That makes sense now.
Yeah. Says, on the bright side, the returning Bryan would be in the Rumble this year. Man, how cool would Bryan versus Lesnar be? Well, Bryan got eliminated without fanfare about halfway into the match.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, the next entrance was Goldust, giving the fans a Shattered Dreams graphic to accompany their anger. Having the final 10 minutes of the 2014 show be all fan rebellion was one thing to let them know, mainly because they could see how desperate the company was to make the fans want to like Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
To give you an idea of how tone-deaf WWE's decision was, The Rock came out to support Roman Reigns and the crowd still booed. Yes, they did.
I didn't care. I loved it.
Thank God 2016 match was able to put it together.
Something coherent
And competent. But yeah, those two, it was. And let's be honest, people would normally go crazy for The Rock, and anyone The Rock came up and would almost say, this is my boy type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, with how they were dealing with Roman Reigns and everything, and you The Rock to write Roman Reigns' promos, because being a big guy himself, knowing the guy,
and being related to
him, the two of them could sit down and say, okay, this is, working, speak, and have it.
So
we have Brutal Royal Rumble match eliminations.
How many?
10.
Okay. We'll do them and then we'll end it.
Boo!
We've been doing this for
nothing. It's all video.
Oh.
Yeah.
27.
27. Oh, day before Robert's dad's birthday.
Boo!
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
If you are in the area and want to come to our viewing party, please let us know.
And we're also celebrating our 10th anniversary, although the anniversary is actually on the logo of WFSO.
I don't even know.
Boo,
What it's
boo. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
nobody knows what either one did it.
As he just said, nobody knows
I'm his wife. I don't even know.
how this happened, why this happened. Nobody knows.
So stay tuned. We will be back perhaps over the next coming weeks leading up to the Royal Rumble to talk about some more of the things and
Ooh.
perhaps go through some of these videos for,
Well-
and
Royal Rumble fans, Asuka WWE Royal Rumble opponent revealed.
who. You can't like just say something like that and then
Well, they didn't have it up there exactly who it was.
then click on it.
I just did.
Becky Lynch.
Oh, it must have been the spoilers from when they was recording on
Oh.
Saturday, so it's going to be played Tuesday.
Okay. Becky Lynch then. Alrighty, on that note, we will be back probably later in the week. We'll do a new year thing, perhaps predictions of what we can see coming up for 2019.
Yeah, when we do that, sometime this week.
That's what I just said.
Oh,
Next
okay,
year.
yeah,
True.
that is true.
She's right on that.
We're also sponsored by Dunham Sports. Go to your
Dunham.
location of
Done.
go to a location there you either get your sports gear and sports items. And also by Lay's potato chips, go get you some.
Catch you all later. Bye.
Bye everybody, and plus bye to everybody on YouTube.
Kids. Get free hands, you suck at lips.